Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishing Vlog number 135, and as you can see, the baby Corypensis are getting bigger, and they got nice little bellies on them. And the nice thing about this particular stage is they're large enough now that mom and dad don't take them and hide them under little corners where they can't be seen. They get to stay up more often, obviously feed more, and get to grow better. And as you can see here in a second, some of them are roaming quite far. This is kind of the stage, if they're in the wild, where some of them would just head off and be on their own and survive or not depending upon the parents. Most of them, as you can see, they'll stay quite close. And, well, like I said, they do really well. I'm very happy with this. I'm not sure how long they're going to stay together. I need, of course, to make an aquarium or clean one out for them to grow in. But for the moment, I'm just going to leave them here because, well, first off, the parents are doing really well. They're not doing any aggression towards them. And I don't think there's any real rush. So this is the filter for that tank, and as I've mentioned a number of times, I don't like the look of it. It's kind of ugly. It is looking better now than it has in a long time, but this is the tank. Sorry, this is the filter that filters that tank, and the nice thing about this style of filter is there's an awful lot of microorganisms in there. The water flows through here, picks up a bunch of them, and flushes them into the aquarium. And of course, the frog get to feed on all that, and as you can see, they do really quite well. I don't really need to feed them anything else besides a bit of flake food and whatever comes out of that. So I'm showing you this tank because up till now, I have not seen any aggression really between the males and the killifish. But there's one male garden eye in there that has a bit of a torn mouth, a little bit of fungus on it. It's nothing serious or anything, but that's the first indicator I've had since I started breeding them again that there's any kind of, well, I mean, they chase each other, but they don't really hurt each other. And that's, like I said, that's the first time I've seen that. And as you can see, this tank here, very active, and everyone's doing really well. There's one male I spotted while I was doing this that I think I'll pull out because it's not the right color type. I don't really want it in the gene pool, but other than that, it's doing well. There it is, right there on the bottom, heading across the bottom right now. Just not the right color type, that's all. Nothing wrong with it. It's going to get pulled out and put in an aquarium somewhere, but I just don't want it breeding. And as you can see, the centerpiece now has grown all the way to the top of the enclosure. This is doing very, very well. I do need to clean a little bit more in here, but it's mostly cosmetic stuff. The acrylic gets a little bit algae on it, but that's it. The tank itself is really quite clean now. I did a bunch of cleans, as you remember in the last few fishing vlogs I told you about. I am getting back to the point where I'm almost caught up on all that. I do need to do a little bit more on some of the tanks on one of the bottom rows, but for the most part, it's starting to look like it's an aquarium fish room that's being maintained. The hornwort is just choking out that tank. I mean, it really bounced back very, very well. As you can see, even the red Luigia here is growing out of the water. I mean, all this is recovered quite nicely from the summer tubbing. And as you can see, the fry now are getting quite a bit bigger for the guppies. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do another summer tub next year. We'll see. I mean, everything does so well in here that for the 2 months, maybe 3 sometimes, that I can put them outside, I don't really see a big benefit. So we'll have to figure that out. I want to show you this because they're such pigs. They love their food, and this kind of feeding frenzy is just kind of fun to watch. And yeah, twice a day, this is what happens. They just go nuts and eat as much as they can. So I just did a water change in here, and I was noticing that they're looking really nice. And there's one particular female I'm going to show you in a few seconds. I think it's time to start dividing them up into groups where they can breed. And like I said, I'm happy with them. They're obviously more than old enough. This is the young lady here. You can see she's nice and chubby. Got a good health to her, a good everything to her for that matter. And yeah, I'm going to definitely set them up for spawning. And speaking of having eggs, this is the red crystal shrimp tank. And there you go. Nice little batch of eggs underneath her tail there. There is still one rice fish in here, and I am going to pull it out, put it in with some guppies, because I want to give these shrimplets, well, soon to be shrimplets, I guess I should say, as much of a chance to grow as possible. And the funny thing about me spotting the eggs underneath the tail like this, usually by the time I get around to it, they're really close to hatching, and I do need to definitely get that fish out of there so that these guys have as much chance as possible. This is the same female, and the only reason why she's up in a branch right now is she decided to scoop behind a rock, so I took a little piece of acrylic and just gave her a bit of a stir, and she popped up into here. So I wanted to give you guys another quick look at it, and she's going to come down in a second. You're going to see, yeah, the eggs are nice and dark. I mean, they're doing really well, and again, it'll be really soon they're going to hatch, so I will have to get to that. Yeah, I haven't done anything with this. Well, I did a bit of stuff over there. I mean, I keep watering the plants and everything, but this needs to be pruned so much. A lot of these plants need to come out of here, of course. I need to get that, the lily with the filter over into the other side, pull out the other filter, the terracotta pot filter. And a lot of this stuff needs to be just moved out of here into something else. Give it some room. Give the guppy some room. All that sort of stuff needs to happen. And of course, finding the time to do it all is the big question. Right now, both works are quieter at the moment. I got caught up in all of my fish tank cleaning from getting back, and it's the middle of winter now, so there's not a whole lot to do in the maintenance at the moment for the houses. So I do have some time, and I hope to be able to get to some of these essentials really soon, plus setting up that little desktop tank. So I want to finish up this with a bit of live food. I mean, that's normally where I keep it down there. And these guys are doing fine. Again, I'm not spending as much time on them as I should, but there's still quite a few cyclopses in here and a little bit of Daphnia. And I like this, but the problem I'm finding is giving it the attention it needs, of course, to get as much as possible going. And well, that's fine. I mean, I don't breed as much at the moment anyway, so they do definitely produce enough for what I need. Especially seeing how I use them mostly to seed tank filters, like the one above the Crebensis tank, so that there's plenty of microorganisms in there. So anyway, it's more than enough. But the one thing that's doing really, really well is the scud culturing I'm doing. It's just crazy. You have tons of it, so that's really good, but mostly just obviously for the older fish. So that's what I'm going to end up with, a clip of that, and you'll see how much it is. This is just one sponge in a whole tank full of them, and you're going to see how many are in here. It's just a crazy amount, and that's just like one tiny little sponge, and like I said, there's thousands in that tank, and again, very, very easy to culture. So thank you very much for watching. Leave comments, let me know what you think about everything. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.